Namaste and a very good morning to all of you. I hope all of you are doing fine at home. Children, last time we have done the structure of leaf. So before we switch over to next topics, I want to discuss that the structure of leaf with you. So if you remember, see, this is the leaf, no? Let us revise what all parts we have discussed last time, right, in PowerPoint presentation. So this is the leaf, and we know this part of the leaf which attaches to the stem or the branch, we call it, yes, all of you know by now, we call it petiole, right? And then this broad part of the leaf, this is called the leaf blade or the lamina, right? Now, if we come to this part of the leaf, all right, this vein which is passing from the petiole to the tip of the leaf, this is the midrib, right? And the midrib is again divided, it is branching and it is spreading all over the leaf and forming the network of tubes, and these are called veins, side veins, right? And what is the purpose of this midrib and the side veins is, we have discussed that the purpose is to transport water and minerals from root to the parts of the leaf and food prepared by the leaf to all the parts of the plant, right? And we know that stomata are present on the undersurface of the leaf, and the term stomata is very well known to you from class 3 itself. And what is the new concept which is taught here is that stomata has two guard cells which helps in the opening and closing of stomata during the exchange of gases, right? Now we'll switch over to the our PowerPoint presentation and a quick look for all what we have done in last video. So now give all your attention on the screen on the presentation. Okay, here we go. Recapitulation, the green plants. Again, the structure of leaf, the petiole, the veins, the midrib and the lamina. So I think we have talked enough about it, and by now you must be knowing it very well. And the new concept was that the stomata has two guard cells which open and close during the exchange of gases. And this was the process of photosynthesis, right? In the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, when carbon dioxide and water are put together, what do we get? We get oxygen and sugar. Now let us switch over to the activity, and I hope all of you have seen the video on this activity. The activity is to show that leaves prepare food which is stored in the form of starch in the presence of sunlight, right? So food is prepared in the presence of sunlight, that we'll find out here, and the food stored, it is in the form of starch, right? So video, all of you must have seen the link which we had sent you earlier. Now there are few important terms which you need to remember for this activity, and those terms are, first is alcohol and another one is iodine solution. All right, these are two substances which are required if we want to find out whether the starch is present in the leaves or not. Okay, so alcohol, it's the function of alcohol in this activity is to help the leaf to lose color. So it decolors the leaf, because see, if the leaves are green, no, if you put iodine solution over it, will not get results, because chlorophyll will not allow the starch which is present in the leaf to react with iodine. So first we have to remove the color of the leaf to see the to test the presence of starch. Then iodine solution. Iodine solution, it gives blue-black color on reacting with starch. So whatever food items contain starch, how do we come to know that these contain starch? When you put few drops of iodine solution on the food and the iodine gives blue-black color, we say that starch is present. If iodine does not give blue-black color, then that means starch is not present in the food. Though we do this activity when we are in the school, but we'll just we test iodine presence of starch in various food items by putting drops of iodine over them, but since we cannot perform that activity right away, so we'll just go through the activity how it is done. Okay, so what is the first step of this activity? First of all, we have to take one plant, and the leaf of the plant is covered with black paper. Why are we covering it with the black paper? Because we don't want to expose it to the sunlight. Okay, we want to hide it from the sunlight because we want to see whether in the presence of sunlight this leaf can prepare food or not. We say that they need sunlight. What if we block the sunlight to a particular part of the leaf? Will this part be able to prepare food or not? Alright, so this is what we are going to test. Now in step 2, what is done is, since it is exposed, the plant is exposed for some days to the sunlight with one part of the leaf still covered. Then in the second step, so this is the arrangement is done in laboratories to test the presence of starch of leaf, right? So this is the wire gauge here, this is a burner here, right? So first of all, remove the black paper from the leaf and dip it in the boiling water. So we'll boil it in the water just to make it tender, and we'll not boil it in water for a long time because if we'll only boil in water, then it will damage the cells of the leaves. So in third step, after boiling in water for say about 2 minutes, then the leaf is boiled in alcohol. When it is boiled in alcohol, see, this type of arrangement is done. The alcohol is put in this tube and the leaf is also kept here, and it has been kept in boiling water. This is called double boiler. No, directly alcohol is never heated directly over flame, otherwise it catches flame. Alright, so the leaf is decolored using alcohol. When the leaf loses its color, then what do we do is, then we put few drops of iodine solution. As I told you that iodine solution, it reacts with starch and gives blue-black color. But if starch is not there, then it will not give blue-black color. So when this leaf is kept in a petri dish, we call it a petri dish, and few drops of iodine are put over it, we observe that blue-black color is produced on those parts of the leaf those who were exposed to the sunlight, right? And no blue-black color produced. That means the part which we had covered with the black paper, and which part was not exposed to the sunlight, that means that part of the leaf was unable to make starch. That means sunlight is very much necessary to make food, right? So this was the activity, the test of starch in leaf. So here I repeat, when the iodine solution is poured over the leaf which has been decolored, the iodine turns blue-black in those areas which were exposed to sunlight, that means starch or food was made in those areas only. But the area which was covered, the starch is not present there, as iodine has not given blue-black color. So that means the starch is not present in the part where sunlight was not, where the part that was not exposed to sunlight. All right. So that means here we have proved that the sunlight is very much necessary for the production of food in a leaf. Now, our next topic is interdependence. What do you understand by interdependence? Interdependence is that one thing is dependent on another. All right, the dependence of one thing on another. Plants and animals are dependent on one another for their survival. Now, see, how are we dependent on plants and how plants are dependent on us? We get oxygen from plants, we inhale oxygen and we exhale or we take out carbon dioxide, which is used by plants. So this is the first form of interdependence. No, plants are giving us oxygen, and the carbon dioxide which is released by humans and animals, it is used by plants for making their food, right? And then animals depend on plants for their food requirements. You know, animals, we are dependent on plants for our food requirements. Different animals are dependent on plants for their food requirements in different ways. All right, you can see the examples here. And next is that animals help plants to carry seeds to far off places for germination. Okay, germination term we have done it in class 3 also. Germination is growing plants. No, germination is that when the seed is producing a seedling, that process is called germination, right? So plants, they carry seeds to far off places, right? Now what is the need to carry these seeds to far off places? How are these animals helping plants to carry seeds, and what is the need to carry seeds? Is this the help to a plant? Yes, yes, definitely it is a help to a plant, because if all the seeds of a plant, they happen to fall on the same place, no, all the plants will grow on that particular area, and maybe they are falling all together, and they do not grow to their full size because of lack of space, lack of food, when they are falling all together on one place. So animals, they help in dispersal of seeds. They disperse the seeds, they carry the seeds to other places, so that plants, they grow in different places. One particular plant is not growing in one particular place only. All right, so the animals, they help plants to carry their seeds to other places, so that those plants, they grow in other places also, and not where they are already existing. So we get many medicines from plants. Yes, we are dependent on plants for medicines also. All of you know these common names: aloe vera, mint, tulsi, or basil. All are commonly grown in your house, right? So these are all medicinal plants. So what is the new term here? The new term is interdependence. That is, we are dependent on each other, right? That this is a give and take arrangement, no? Now, question is, how are plants and animals interdependent on each other? Okay, so first we'll talk about animals. Sorry, plants. Plants, they give out oxygen, which is taken up by human beings and animals to survive, right? And how animals are dependent on plants? They are dependent on plants for food. Animals help plants by carrying their seeds, right? and animals breathe out carbon dioxide, which is used by plants for photosynthesis. So in first 2 points, if you observe carefully, we are talking about uses of plants, and in third and fourth point we are talking about how animals help plants, right? So this is about the interdependence. Now, next is food chain. Again, it's just a revision of what we have done in class 3. A chain that shows how one organism is dependent. Now we'll talk about not interdependence. We'll talk about a chain, that one organism is dependent on another and they form a chain in the environment. Yes, this example, all of you are very common example and all of you are very much aware of it. The grass, the grasshopper, right? And the grasshopper is eaten by the frog, a frog is eaten by the snake, and a snake is eaten by the hawk. So this makes a food chain, a chain that shows that how one organism is dependent on another for its food requirement. So they are forming a chain. So there are many such chains, different chains are found in nature. What is a food chain? A chain that shows how one organism is dependent on another organism for food is called a food chain. And this is a very simple diagram we have, found out for you so that it is easier to make it in your copies. So don't forget to make this drawing. Okay, now why is interdependence of plants and animals important? Now let us get back to interdependence again. So why it is important? It is important to create a balance in nature. You know nowadays how one virus has, created havoc in our lives. So the balance is in nature is completely disturbed nowadays. So this is a big example of how the balance is nature is important, why it is important. So if we look at this picture, animals and plants, see if the number of plants decrease suddenly, then what will happen? The oxygen level for animals will also decrease. Yes, so we need, as such, we keep telling we have to grow number of plants every now and then. We are involved in one or the activity of one mahotsav and plant growing activities, or going to other places, some parks or gardens, or in your school nurseries. We are into growing plants. Why do want to grow so many plants? So that the balance in nature is maintained, because animals, the number of human beings, animals is increasing, but the number of plants is decreasing. Now, a sudden increase in number of animals in nature will lead to outbreak of diseases. If there will be less plants and more animals, then there will be insufficient food to meet. Yes, we will face lot many problems. We'll face lot many, diseases will crop up, and what will happen is that there will be not enough plants to cater to our food requirements, because we know it that we are dependent on plants for our food requirements. So if the number of plants decrease, the oxygen level for animals will also decrease. The food requirements will also decrease. And if we talk about opposite to it, if the number of animals increase same, again there will be problem of diseases, there will be problems of insufficient food requirements. So with this we come to the end of this chapter. Let us revise the important terms. First term we have The new term is the starch. We know that starch is the food that is stored by the leaves of the plants, right? And the starch is stored in other parts of the plants also in different ways, depending upon the type of plant. Iodine, alcohol are those substances which help us in detecting the presence of starch in leaves. And then interdependence, how one animal is dependent on another to maintain the balance in nature. So that's all for now. And thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay blessed. Thank you.